It's the SKOR North Twins Show.
All right, SKOR North Twins Show, another extra innings episode here. I wasn't actually going to do a series recap after I did a doubleheader episode recap yesterday. Plus, we had a full Twins Show with Mackie and Judd and myself this afternoon, which you can also find on this podcast feed and YouTube channel. But figured I'd have to hop on, even though they did win their 11th straight. That's kind of not, unfortunately, that's not the story of this game. Twins potentially lose Byron, Buxton to Carlos Correa in a scary play. But hit the like button and subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twins Show YouTube channel. 100 plus you guys have hit that button over the last 3 or 4 days, so that's awesome. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, continue to support the SKOR North Twins Show by doing so. Every like, every subscribe continues to push this out to the masses, so thank you very much for those that have subscribed. Also, a shout out to Grandpa's Barbecue. You know, I can tell you right now that I don't know if old barbecue sauce is going to fix the twin star players in Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton, but it is National Barbecue Day tomorrow on Friday, May 16th, and you can support our sponsor by going to grandpasbbq.com. Pick up some of this stuff if you want. Hell, you know what? Let's do a little live taste test here, huh? Oh, this could get very messy. This is potentially very dangerous here, huh? Some damn good stuff. They got some dry rub, too, that I've been throwing on some chicken upstairs, too, which is really good. So if you're interested in Grandpa's Barbecue, go to grandpasbbqshop.com, grandpasbbqshop.com, and you can help support the SKOR North Twins Show. So Twins win their 11th straight. That's all great. Brilliant start by Chris Paddack again, man. Tossed 7 strong innings. Maybe even could have went out there for the 8th, but he was brilliant. 3 hits, no runs, struck out 3, was putting the ball in play, but inducing weak contact. He had 89 pitches through 8 innings. Twins needed starts like this, right? I mean, this is now 2 starts in a row where Chris Paddack has completed at least 7 innings. He's only allowed 1 earned run over the last 2 starts, plus even if you go back to the last 4 or 5 starts, he's been absolutely money after maybe having his position in jeopardy. I mean, I know this show has been critical of him at times, and Chris Paddack has been phenomenal. In fact, you know, Simeon Wood-Richardson was demoted. We discussed that this afternoon on the SKOR North Twins Show. It does sound like Zebby Matthews will be the one to potentially come up there. We reported on the show that David Festa was dealing with some fatigue, and he was skipped in his last start. He's scheduled to make his next start with St. Paul, so all signs point to Zebby Matthews being the one to make the start for the Twins on Sunday as they have an opening. But Chris Paddack, you got to give him some flowers, man. This organization has believed in him. At times, I know he hasn't really backed it up with the results on the field, whether that be his fault or just some injuries that he dealt with. But regardless, Paddack shoves for them. I know that Baltimore Orioles team has been incredibly disappointing this year, but there are guys in that lineup that should be, you know, on the precipice of being very good ball players. Gunnar Henderson's putting things together finally for Baltimore. I know Adley Rutschman at times has been a little inconsistent, but that on paper, that's a really good lineup. Their pitching is obviously a problem. Who knows? By the time I hit end on this podcast, you know, you may even see Brandon Hyde not be long for that job. But Chris Paddack was phenomenal offensively. You know, they get back-to-back home runs from Byron Buxton, who we'll talk about here in just a sec, and Deshaun Kersey Jr., who's known more, you know, for his glove, and he obviously had the big hit on Sunday to give them the walk-off hit, but he has a big home run for them, too. They go back-to-back, Twins up 3-0. Royce Lewis, another multi-hit game, plus an RBI, which is all good things. So Royce slowly and surely getting that timing right, getting things put together at the plate. He's obviously been struggling a little bit as he adapts back to Major League pitching after missing about 6-7 weeks with a hamstring injury. So Twins get a win. That's great. They've won 11 straight. They are going to go into Milwaukee now. But unfortunately, your lead here is Byron Buxton, and Carlos Correa had a pretty nasty collision here today. There was a shallow ball hit into, you know, no man's land between both of them. I mean, at the end of the day, I want Buxton probably making that play to call off Correa. And judging by even, you know, the impact where you saw Byron Buxton collide into the back of Correa and that jaw, you know, kind of reverberated, like really, I know they have the slow motion cameras now, kind of really, you know, went back against Correa's back. And I mean, thankfully, he was able to actually remain in the game. Buxton, that is. Correa ended up leaving the game right away. Buxton finishes the half inning before he leaves the game. But, I mean, probably lucky Buxton doesn't have a broken jaw just by the impact of that collision. And Correa kind of braced for it, right? I mean, just looking at the replay, like you knew he was about to get hit. And now both players, the Twins did announce that they are in concussion protocol. So we'll wait and see on the severity of how long they remain in concussion protocol. You know, Buxton has dealt with concussions in the past, about honestly 2014, so 11 years ago when Buck was in the minor leagues. He had also a very scary collision with a teammate down, I believe, in Double-A at the time. That might have been Chattanooga. I don't know if the Twins had switched to Chattanooga at that point. I know they're with Wichita now. Was New Brighton back in the day, but he had a collision where he was taken off the field in an ambulance because the collision was so significant. So he was diagnosed with a concussion in 2014, and then he also dealt with concussion-like symptoms in 2019 and 2020. So a guy that's a repeat concussion sufferer, has dealt with concussion symptoms before, obviously not something you want to see. You don't want to see anyone ever be in concussion protocol regardless, but for someone in Buxton's case who has dealt with concussions in the past, you hope that he's able to eventually clear things and it's nothing serious. But, you know, when you have your two guys that go into concussion protocol right away, I don't think that exactly bodes well for their long-term health here. Twins are going to begin a 3-game series in Milwaukee against the Brewers this weekend. The only thing, I guess, obviously I want to see these guys healthy and hopefully they're okay, but I think what I don't want to see have happen, and it's something that I continue to harp on this show, whether it's the Twin Show or Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd, is if these guys are indeed unavailable, put them on the IL, and do not waste 2 roster spots for potentially a couple days because you don't want to IL them. If these guys are hurt, and I know you've won 11 straight, I'm not saying you punt on the winning streak, but if they're not available to play, put them on the injured list. Do not wait around. They did this with Willie Castro earlier this year. They did this with Max Kepler. It felt like a dozen times over the course of his career. If these two dudes are not healthy to play and they're in concussion protocol, and you certainly should not be rushing anyone that's in concussion protocol or is dealing with concussion-like symptoms, you need to make sure that these guys are healthy, and you also need to give your roster itself the best chance to win. I know guys like Cody Clemens right now are maybe playing a little bit ahead of themselves, and Jonah Bride is still here, and you know the Twins yesterday already dealt with a couple injuries in Harrison Bader and Ty France, who suffered their own injuries. So that's obviously unfortunate. But if these guys can't go, please, I'm begging you, Valvy, Rocco, Jace Tingler, whoever's managing the team. I know Rocco left the game yesterday because of illness. He was back there today. Let's make sure that the Twins have enough players to give them a chance to win a series in Milwaukee. And you certainly don't want your star players out. But if these guys can't go, don't go day to day with it. Make sure that these guys get the proper care they need, and also give your current team that is healthy a chance to win. I do wonder if Emmanuel Rodriguez would be called up in this case. On Emmanuel Rodriguez, he's not really hitting the ball particularly well with the Saints. He is drawing walks. That OBP is healthy. Near 380 on the season. That's been great. He hits the ball hard. He draws walks. He also strikes out a ton. Batting average isn't something that he's never been like a great hitter per se in terms for batting average. But I wonder if this means Emmanuel Rodriguez potentially joins the Twins. And to be honest, if Harrison Bader is indeed not exactly 100%, he sat out today after leaving yesterday with a groin injury. I think you have to call up someone. Kersey can play center field for you right now, but you need another one, right? You need another option in the outfield there. If Buck goes on the injured list, I do wonder if that would be potentially Emmanuel Rodriguez going up to the Saints, going up from the Saints to the Twin Cities to play, or to Milwaukee to help out the Twins. He is, Emmanuel Rodriguez, that is in the lineup for Game 2 of their doubleheader. Literally just got the lineup emailed me right now from the Saints. So Emmanuel Rodriguez is in the lineup. Mickey Gasper's in the lineup. They're playing a doubleheader today. No Edward Julian in Game 2 of the lineup, but that could be a few things. But yeah, that's something they could do. Carson McCluster, I know he doesn't play center. Dude's probably the hottest hitter in the minor leagues right now. huge dude, just crushing home runs. If they wanted an extra bat, I wonder if Carson McCluster is that guy there. They could call him up to give them some little extra pop. That'd be interesting. No Jose Moran in this lineup. I'm seeing that comment too. No Jose Moran in the lineup, but they are playing a doubleheader. The Saints were today, so it's hard to get 9 straight guys in back-to-back games. So I'm not sure what that could look like. I don't think they'll dilly-dally too much. They begin play against Milwaukee this weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they already are making some roster moves. At least they don't need to get Zebby there tomorrow, but Zebby Matthews is probably on the way there to make the start. I think that's probably just Cody Funderburk coming back because Cody Funderburk took the place of Simeon Woods-Richardson on the Twins active man roster. So I wonder if that's just Cody Funderburk coming back potentially. But we'll certainly see. Man, in St. Paul right now, got tornado sirens going. Pretty scary stuff. A lot of rain. Oh, yeah, super dark around me. Apologies for that. Stay safe during the Twin Cities right now. Apparently there's some tornado warnings. But yeah, Twins win. They win their 11th straight. Zebby Matthews will be coming up. You can go check out our other episode from the day. We had a trade deadline conversation. Trade deadline as in, I really should say, what the Twins could potentially add by the trade deadline. Now, what would they add? Now, obviously, when you lose Buxton and Correa, that's problematic, right? That's a potentially a bad situation, but we'll see what happens with the severity of those injuries. But you can check out that episode. You can go check out our combo with Trevor Plouffe. Plus, we'll have some other content sprinkled in there as well. So I appreciate everyone on the SKOR North Twins Show who has continued to support this show, and the Twins will be home next week for a very big homestand against the Guardians for 3, and then they'll have the Royals also for 3. They have an off day next Thursday. And then again, go support Grandpa's Barbecue Shop. It's National Barbecue Day tomorrow, so on Friday, May 16th. So if you have support SKOR North Twin Show, you can also support a great local spot in grandpa'sbarbecueshop.com. Plus, they also have a great benefit of xeroderma pigmentosum, which helps benefit a very rare genetic disorder. So go grab some Grandpa's Barbecue sauce there too. We'll wait and see if anything happens roster-wise. Tomorrow, I could probably jump on to give an update there, but we'll kind of hold and see. But Buxton, Correa in concussion protocol. Twins win their 11 straight. That's what we know. Appreciate everyone that has supported the show. I'll keep you updated. Follow me at Dex's Tweets if you guys want any other extra info Twins related. Hit the like button and subscribe button here on the SKOR North Twins Show YouTube channel. My name's Dex. Be talking at you soon.